Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining. Give me like 30 seconds. I'm just setting everything up. Thank you for joining. Welcome. Shout out to, thank you so much for your patience. I'm so sorry. Shout out to Journey. Shout out to Mila. Shout out to Leanna. Let me write that again because it kind of looks like I wrote a little line. Shout out to Leanna. Shout out to McKinley. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to Harlan. Shout out to Zinnia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Fatima. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Daphne. Shout out to Susan. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Waffles. Shout out to Charlie. Shout out to Kimberly. Oops, sorry. Thank you so much for joining. Welcome. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Lunar. Shout out to Lena. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Nessiah. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Cora. Welcome everyone. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Zara. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Grayson. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Otto. Hello everyone, welcome. Shout out to Constanza. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to, is it Zariah? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Euchre. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Euchre. Shout out to Cooper. Shout out to Kyrie. Shout out to Bryn. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Noah. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Esley. Was it Esley? Esley. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to, is it Doak? I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Callie. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Alyssa Maloney. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Alexis, thank you. Shout out to Alexis Greco. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to, I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you. Thank you so much for your patience. Shout out to George. Shout out to Harry. Shout out to Adriana. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Miley or Maylee. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jake. Thank you everyone for your patience. I know I write slow. I'm so sorry. So I appreciate your patience. Is it Marcia? Shout out to Marcia. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Ryder. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Anne-Marie. Shout out to Dalton. Shout out to Caspian. Shout out to Marjorie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Jin. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Lex. Shout out to Ivy. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Mason. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to Lear. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Val. Shout out to Ginny. Shout out to Kaylani. Shout out to Junaid. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Marcus. Waffles, I got you. Where did I get you? Right here. I got you, Waffles. Shout out to Farah. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being here. Write your name in the chat if you want me to shout you out. Shout out to Jimmy. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Shout out to Betty. Shout out to Jayla. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Deleza. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Khalees. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Violet Maddie. Shout out to Charlotte. Shout out to Arabelle, sorry. Shout out to James. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Juan Castillo. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to Jared. Shout out to Josie. Shout out to Wyatt. Shout out to Crystal. Shout out to Afton or Afton. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Samantha. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Jayla. Shout out to Pierre. Shout out to Jade. Shout out to Martina. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. I live stream every day. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well and support my channel. I would truly appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Solbani. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Romeo. Shout out to Avery. Shout out to Letty. Shout out to Jada. Shout out to Sharky. Shout out to Layla. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Betsy. Shout out to Baron. Oh no, I spelled it wrong. Shout out to Baron. There we go. Shout out to Anusha. Shout out to Brita. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Peyton. Shout out to Lindsay. Shout out to, is it Ela? I'm not sure. Ela? Shout out to Desiree. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Sunshine. Shout out to Soliana. Shout out to Shael. Shael, I hope, sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Ace. Shout out to Radio Rose. Thank you for your patience, everyone. I wish I could write faster. I'm so sorry. Shout out to Jeannie. Shout out to Miranda. Whoops, there's 2 R's. Let me write it again. Shout out to Noah. Oh, it's pronounced Ela. Okay. Thank you for showing me how to pronounce the name. Shout out to Cora. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Lana. Shout out to Zila. Shout out to Jackson. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Blue Jay. Shout out to Chloe. Thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to Okaira. I know I mispronounced your name. I'm so sorry. Okaira. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Janelle. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Yada. Shout out to Amaya. Shout out to Alize. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Alize R9Y. Thank you. Shout out to Yada, I got you. Shout out to Malaria. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amaya Millsap. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Amaya Millsap. Shout out to Kyla. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to, what is it? Jessica. Shout out to Charlie. Thank you everyone for your patience. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Shout out to Presley. Shout out to Addie. Shout out to Zonaya. Shout out to Dee. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Destiny. Shout out to Aria or Araya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Raven. Shout out to Italia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Flowery. Shout out to, you're welcome, Raven. Shout out to Paris. Shout out to Lainey. Thank you for subscribing. Haley, I got you. Shout out to Jameer. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to what was it, Zoe? Shout out to Corey. Yeah, I got Italia right here. Or Idalia. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Dustin. Shout out to Kylie. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Edita. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Tinley. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Vanya. Or Vanaya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Frida. Shout out to Diana. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Shout out to Michaela. Thank you everyone for being here. Shout out to Daphne. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Carla. Shout out to Andre. Shout out to Arkansas. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. The live goes really fast sometimes, the chat. Shout out to Sasha. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to Kaisha. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Nina. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Sonia. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Galilea. Shout out to Mariah. Shout out to DJ. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Donna Lakshmi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I'm gonna write it over here so I have space. Donna. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Michelle. Shout out to Ryder Porter. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Ryder Porter. Shout out to Caleb. Shout out to Madeline. Shout out to Brooke. Shout out to Kath. Shout out to Dylan. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well and support my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to, thank you, Hannah. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Kavi, or Kave, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Varunda, sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Gianna, thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Junior. Shout out to Angelina. Shout out to Jersey. Shout out to Blake. Shout out to Aurelie. Shout out to Maham. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to Marion. Thank you. Shout out to Amethyst. Shout out to Shael. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Valeria. Shout out to Isabella. Shout out to Balil. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Casanova. Shout out to Stella. Shout out to Poppy. Shout out to, thank you, SM Davis. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. 1484. Shout out to Angel. Thank you, Angel. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Angel. M8159. Shout out to that official coconut. Thank you. Shout out to Rebecca. Oops, I forgot how to spell Rebecca. Oh, there we go. Shout out to SM Davis. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, SM Davis. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Geneva. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Raina. thank you so much, Caitlin, for your kind words. Wishing you the best as well. Oops, I spelled your name wrong. I'm so sorry. Oops. There we go. Thank you, Caitlin. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Charter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you so much. Shout out to Charter. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Amanda. Thank you, Amanda. Shout out to Trinity. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Gabe. Shout out to Catherine. Shout out to Daniela. Shout out to Joseph. Shout out to Cole. Shout out to Ashlyn. Shout out to Gigi. Shout out to Howard. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to, whoops, there we go. Shout out to Brody. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to Zulema. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Fiona. Shout out to, thank you, Kayan Yaz. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to Kayan Yans. Shout out to Mallory. Shout out to Franco. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Izzy. Shout out to Dallas. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Finnegan. Shout out to Amaya. Shout out to Bianca. Shout out to Murphy. Shout out to Landon. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Gina. Shout out to Kenya, or Kanaya, or Kania. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Bobette. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to Riley. Whoops. Oh no, I messed up. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Jacob. Or Jacob. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Jacob. Shout out to Drake. Shout out to King. Shout out to Flowery. Shout out to Jackie. Shout out to Hallie. Shout out to Muzan. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to JJ. Shout out to Tamir. Shout out to Silas. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Zai or Zay. Shout out to Missy. Thank you everyone for your patience. Shout out to Carter. Shout out to Eliza. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Yasmin. Shout out to Sophia. Whoops, how do you spell Sophia? Oh, there. Shout out to Stacy. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Ayla. Shout out to Taylin. Shout out to Briley. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Kat Sophie. Oh, I didn't get to see the other part. Kat Sophie. Shout out to Nayara. Or Nayara. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Oh, 247. Thank you. Okay, there we go. Shout out to Layla. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. I live stream every day and I post other content that I hope you can check out and support as well. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to David. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Dewdrop. Thank you so much. Shout out to Dewdrops. Shout out to Dewdrops Beats. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Nancy. Shout out to Hasim. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Veronica. Shout out to Lucy. Shout out to Ruby. Shout out to That Official Coconut. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Tristan. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Bassie. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Adri. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Emma. Shout out to Jess. Shout out to Charter 12345. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Athena. Shout out to Ellie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Luke. Shout out to Paris. Shout out to Myra. Shout out to Elliot. Thank you for subscribing. Oh no, I don't know if I spelled your name right. Oh yeah, I did. Shout out to Jaden. Shout out to Jaslyn. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jackson. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Kelly. Shout out to Eden. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to GI got you. Shout out to Abby. Shout out to Kennedy. Whoops, I forgot over here. Shout out to Suranshi. Thank you for subscribing. Whoops, how do you spell Suranshi again? Whoops, I messed up. Let me write it again here. Shout out to Suryanshi. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Laylan. Or well, oh no, I missed it. Oh, Laylan. Laylan, can you write your name again? I'm so sorry. I messed up. I know I missed. Shout out to New Boo. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to John. Shout out to Vanya. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Blaze. Whoops, I put Blake by mistake. Shout out to Blaze. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Hayden. Shout out to Mika. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Steven. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Laylan. Thank you so much for writing your name again. And sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Raymond. Shout out to Brinley. Shout out to Lunar. Shout out to Paisley. Shout out to Sanaya. Shout out to Shaya. Shout out to Alana. Shout out to Leslie. Shout out to Aaliyah. Shout out to Daisy. Shout out to Liz. Shout out to Austin. Thank you so much for your patience. I know, like, when the chat goes really fast, it's hard for me to keep up. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Paula. Shout out to Brayden. Shout out to King. Shout out to Trisha. Shout out to Kinsley. Shout out to Fo. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Ashlyn. Shout out to Cheska. Shout out to Sugar. Shout out to Rohan. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Shout out to Candy. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Gracie. Shout out to Ellie. Shout out to Brooklyn. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Avery. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Sebastian. Shout out to Archu. Shout out to Zool. Shout out to Azalea. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Chandler. Shout out to Jacob. Shout out to Malachi. Shout out to Todd. Shout out to Finn. Shout out to Shani, or Shani. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Ariana. Shout out to Chelsea. Oh my goodness, I forgot the L. Shout out to Chelsea. Shout out to Ila Varasi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Antonius. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to these people. On to the next page. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for taking the time to write your name. I truly appreciate it. Also, thank you for your patience. I wish I could write faster. I'm so sorry if I haven't gotten to you yet. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the live stream. I also post other content. I hope you can check it out as well. Shout out to Tori. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Garnet Maynard. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Andrea. Shout out to Danielle. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Anna. Shout out to Angela. Shout out to Waffle. Shout out to Darika. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Zane. Shout out to Destin. Shout out to Jasper. Shout out to Isaiah. I'm so sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Bruno. Shout out to J. Kayla. Shout out to Jason. Shout out to LeBron. Shout out to Alexa. Shout out to Ella. Shout out to Chloe. Shout out to Jasleen. Shout out to Lucas. Shout out to Nova. Shout out to Addison. Shout out to Alejandra. Shout out to Paris. Shout out to Nicola. Shout out to Kaden. Shout out to Xylan. Shout out to Ayath. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Amina. Shout out to Chase Macy. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Chase Macy. Shout out to Robert. Thank you for your support. Shout out to Boston. Shout out to Shayla. Paris, I got you. Shout out to Crew. Shout out to Faith. Shout out to Gianna. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Liam. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Sarah. Shout out to Louie. Shout out to Trenton. Shout out to Alika. Shout out to Alani. Shout out to Jagger. Shout out to Omar. Shout out to Sergio. Shout out to Ben. Shout out to Eli. Shout out to Scarlett. Shout out to Zayden. Shout out to, thank you so much, cool editor. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Shout out to a cool editor. Shout out to Brady Place, Puzzle Koala Fortnite. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Brady Plays Puzzle Koala Fortnite. You. There we go. Shout out to Manuel. Shout out to Malia. Shout out to Nina. Shout out to Elizabeth. Shout out to Francisco. Shout out to what is it? 1 times 1. I hope I got that right. Shout out to Melanie. Shout out to Malaysia. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Josh. Shout out to Catalea. Shout out to Bruno Mars. Shout out to Covenant. Shout out to Oliver. Shout out to Frankie. Shout out to Shane. Yes, Malaysia, I noticed you guys. I just try to keep up because then the chat goes really fast. So I notice, but then sometimes I'm like, oh no, I hope they write it again. Shout out to Riley. Shout out to Miku. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Clark. Shout out to Jagger. Shout out to Sierra. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to Frankie. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Miyabi. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Thiago. Shout out to Kitty. Shout out to Jerry. Shout out to Lance. Shout out to River. Shout out to Harlan. Shout out to Tana. Shout out to Calera. Shout out to RJ. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Phoenix. Shout out to Cohen. Shout out to Levi. Shout out to Mark. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. On to the next page. Thank you everyone for your patience. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy my shout outs. I also post other content that I hope you can check out and support as well. I truly appreciate you being here. Thank you, thank you. Shout out to Fenny. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Jimena. Shout out to Amal. Shout out to Skylar. Shout out to Maddie. Shout out to Millie. Shout out to Mr. Nugget. Shout out to Elodie. Shout out to Brittany. Shout out to Hannah. Shout out to Raymond. Shout out to Kitty. Shout out to Amari. Shout out to Rudy. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Mr. Black Hat. Shout out to Lorenzo. Shout out to Jagger. Shout out to Lala. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Alea. Shout out to Ashley. Shout out to Frandisha. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Shout out to Michaela. Shout out to Shihan. Shout out to Allison. Shout out to Pedro Mini Little. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Princess. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to Tobias. Thank you so much for subscribing. Shout out to Renee. Shout out to Anna Sophia. Shout out to Callie. Yes, I like cats. I think cats are cute. Shout out to Haley. Shout out to Sun. Shout out to Malachi. Shout out to Rich. Shout out to Cam. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Giovanni. Shout out to Aileen. You're welcome, Malachi. Shout out to Harley. Shout out to Joshua. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Genesis. Shout out to Jessica. Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Holland. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Regina. Shout out to Daylight. Oops. Shout out to Justin. Sorry, the blender was going. Shout out to Little Flowers Clouds. Thank you so much for your support. Truly appreciate it. Shout out to Cassie. Shout out to Isaac. Shout out to Caitlin. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Nessie. Shout out to Ted. Shout out to Patro. I2M. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Melinda. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Evergreen. Shout out to Desmond. Shout out to Ryan. Oh, I got Ryan. Shout out to Ivy. Shout out to Shelby. I got Nessie. Shout out to Nessie. Shout out to Shelby. Shout out to Maria. Shout out to Ayana. Shout out to Grace. Shout out to Mia. Shout out to George. Shout out to Madeline. Shout out to... Thank you, Ren Fairy, for your support. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Gavin. Shout out to Charles Payne. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Annie. Shout out to, oh, that's so cool, the year. Shout out to Julia Novello. Shout out to Julia Novello. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. 2876. Thank you. Super cool. Shout out to Delilah. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Poppy. Shout out to Maggie. Shout out to Topher. Shout out to Elliot. Shout out to Tyson. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Isla. Shout out to Sophia. I think the chat is buffering. Shout out to Rihanna. Shout out to Dakota. Shout out to Zoe. Shout out to Alistair. Shout out to Xander. Shout out to Milani. Shout out to Angelo. Shout out to Bailey. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Mateo. Shout out to River. Shout out to Nilo. Shout out to these people. Thank you so much for being here. Let me drink some water. Excuse me, on to the next page. Sorry. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the shout outs. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Also, please check out my channel. I post other content. I hope you can check it out. Shout out to Will. Shout out to Kimmy Antonelli. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Harmony. Shout out to Poppy. Shout out to Nessie. Shout out to Lily. Shout out to Kaylin. Shout out to I Got You, Poppy and Nessie. Shout out to Jaylene. Shout out to Vincent. Shout out to Jagger. Shout out to Cleo. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Charles Payne. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to thank you, Ren Fairy. Shout out to Ren Fairy. Shout out to Zach. Thank you for subscribing. Whoops. Shout out to Plain. What was it? Oh, I missed it. Shout out to Diego. Shout out to Plain Snore. Shout out to Josh. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Carson. Shout out to Daylight. Shout out to Sanji Vinsmoke 23. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Sanji. Shout out to Jessa. Shout out to Nada. Or Nada. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Amir. Shout out to Tiara. Shout out to Olivia. Shout out to Miley. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Violet. Shout out to River. Shout out to Aurora. Shout out to Vaughn. Thank you for subscribing. Shout out to Corina. Shout out to Max. Shout out to Nevaeh. Shout out to Sunny. Shout out to Ryan. Shout out to Liv. Shout out to Maylin. Shout out to Anthony. Shout out to Chantel. Shout out to Alexis. Shout out to Alexia. Shout out to Owen. Shout out to Tessara. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Josiah. Shout out to Evie. Shout out to Alina. Shout out to Candy. Shout out to Aman. Shout out to Sophia. Shout out to Ariane. Shout out to Vivian. Shout out to Maya. Shout out to Eric. Shout out to Brayden. Shout out to Gia. Shout out to Santiago. Shout out to Star. Shout out to Samara. Leave a like if you're enjoying the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. Shout out to Bear. Shout out to Yeva. Shout out to Victoria. Shout out to Bear, I Got You. Shout out to Zainab. Shout out to Jennifer. Shout out to Camila. Shout out to Gio. Shout out to Ty. Shout out to Emilio. Shout out to Jenna. Shout out to Alyssa. Shout out to Zuleika. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Jasmine. Shout out to Brandon. Shout out to Ness. Shout out to Aria. Shout out to Marcy. Shout out to Kenna. Shout out to, was it Dahlia? Dahlia. Shout out to Thiago. Shout out to Esther. Shout out to Quincy. Shout out to Rinsha. Shout out to Ava. Shout out to Dave. Shout out to Emily. Shout out to Esther, I Got You. Shout out to Lexi. Shout out to Kayla. Shout out to Allie. Shout out to 11. Shout out to Gina. Shout out to Clara. Shout out to Sophie. Shout out to Tokor. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Demiana. Shout out to Aiden. Shout out to Theo. Shout out to William. Shout out to Alex. Shout out to Corey. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Bella. Shout out to Voila. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Shout out to Melinda Ack 718. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. Melinda 718. Thank you. Shout out to these people. I hope you can see it a little bit better. Thank you so much for being here. I live stream every day around the same time. If you want to subscribe and support my channel, I would truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time to write your name and for your patience. Please subscribe or leave a like around my channel. I post other things that I hope you can check out and support. It would mean a lot to me. Thank you for being here. You all are the best. Thank you. Take care. I will see you next time.